Hey there. Welcome to the channel where you will find love, laughs, and DIYs. My name is Crafty Kathy, and I want to thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me today. I've got some super easy Halloween DIYs for you. I hope you're going to like these. And hey, if you do, give me a like and don't forget to subscribe. Let's jump in. For DIY number one, I have a tiered tray of sorts that you can put your candy in for your trick-or-treaters. It's going to have this charger on the bottom and this plastic piece that goes on the top, both from Dollar Tree. And I took it outside and spray painted it black with the Rust-Oleum matte ×2. I got these napkins from the Dollar Tree, and I absolutely think these are really cool. They're really stepping it up. And we're going to decoupage on a hurricane vase. That's their glass vases. I wet a paintbrush and go around the pattern that I want to get off there. You never cut when you're decoupaging with scissors because straight lines don't look good. But if you like kind of rip it, it looks great. All we need is that top layer. Most napkins have one or two. Occasionally they'll have three. Okay, so we lay our hurricane vase down on something where it's not going to move. Put a very little bit of Mod Podge down and start laying down your napkin. I do it in kind of like sections so I have better control. That's less wrinkles. And I didn't have any saran wrap, which if you don't want wrinkles, that's your best friend is the saran wrap. But I made do, and I just used a plastic bag that paint came in. Hey, it worked the same. There was no wrinkles. What happens is your fingers act like an iron, and the heat from your body like almost irons out the wrinkles. So just use a piece of plastic if you don't have saran wrap. But I always use saran wrap when I'm decoupaging. That is a sure way to not get any wrinkles. And don't use a lot of Mod Podge. You don't need a lot. All you need is just a tiny bit. If you put too much, it's going to be wet and gloppy and it's going to tear. And we don't want that. So I went all the way around the bottle with my pattern. Then up at the top, I had torn off what was 2 spider webs on the napkins, and I wanted those specifically at the top. So I just stuck those at the top. And you see that big wrinkle right in the middle? This is absolute proof that the wrinkles will be totally gone when you're finished using saran wrap or plastic in my case. I forgot that my buddy Lori over at Milton's Daughter had sent me this liquid patina. It's kind of the same thing as Mod Podge. I found it to be thinner and I liked it better, but you know I'm a DIY paint girl. All their products are just bomb to me. And so I always tell everybody to go get your supplies and your paint. If you like DIY paint, if you want to try it, you know, contact Lori over at Milton's Daughter. I always leave it in the description box. And she gives my subscribers 10% off when you use the code CraftyKathy10. And she is amazing. She will help you in any way. So I took my vintage linen, which is an off-white color, and just a sponge. I didn't have a dauber, which would have been better, because all I wanted to do is kind of go around this whole pattern anywhere where it was clear, you know, showing through the glass where the napkin did not cover, and I just kind of dabbed it on, you know, almost like a snowflake looking effect, like when you're trying to make it look like snowflakes. But it turned out so pretty. I went around that whole jar. I thought this gave it just a little added interest. And then I took my JB Ranger Distress Oxide. Now this is like a stamp pad, but I use it as a distressing color because it's called Weathered Twigs. And you see it's this perfect old brown color that would make me think of something old and vintagey. I used my makeup brushes. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, and they're great to like distress with. So I went around any areas where I wanted to look kind of old and just like, you know, rotten looking, and I just filled in this whole glass with that. And look how pretty that matte black turned out. I love matte black. Now, all I had was the owl lights that came from the Dollar Tree, but they'll work. I strung them as close to the center as I could in my little top candy dish, and it is actually going to go and sit down inside that hurricane vase. Now, the little battery pack, I just left it right in the center of the candy dish for now. I took some of those sticker dots that I get from the Dollar Tree, and I've got one of these old skeleton birds, and I thought these would be really cool in his eyes. You could put jewels or whatever. But this really did take this skeleton up a notch. It made him look so spooky. And then I had a paint that is a metallic color, and it's made by Folk Art. It's called Metallics Bright Green. You can get it at Walmart, and it is a crazy green, bright green. It's like a color shift. It changes colors as you move it around in the light. And I painted his eyes with that, and he looks spooky. And then I took my Distress Oxide again, that brown ink pad, and my makeup brush, and I went all around this skeleton and just kind of made it just look old and just vintagey, you know. I went all over this sucker, and it really changed him from going from an old cheap Dollar Tree looking bird to something that was really cool. Now we're going to put this mamma jamma together. I thought to use E6000 and hot glue so that we can get a good permanent hold and it won't go nowhere. So I started off at the bottom of my charger and put down the E6000 and the hot glue. You don't put them down together, just kind of side by side. And then I put the hurricane vase down. On the top of the vase, I did the same thing with the glues, and I laid the candy dish down there. And now I'm going to take that battery pack and glue it down. But I made sure to lay it in the way where all you had to do was pop off the top and change the batteries. And then I'm going to use the E6000 and the hot glue and glue this old oogly skeleton down to the top of it. And I think this is really cool. I took 2 little clip-on bats from the Dollar Tree. They came like 4 in a pack, and I'm really having fun with those. And I stuck them on the front, and then just a purple flower that came from one of their little Halloween flower picks. And I know that's a funny spot to stick it, but hey, it really looked cool. I took one of these spiders. I got these at Walmart. There was like 8 in a pack for $1.98 maybe. And I just stuck it on the front right there. It was purple and it matched the flower. Let me know what you think about this ghoul. You can't really see right here the light coming through the vase, but it looks amazing. And I got all this done with Dollar Tree products for under $4. So for DIY number 2, it's just a quick little Halloween tag that I make and sell in my store. I've got various different kinds of cardstock here. It's all like from a fall pack except for this black and white. And these are just little tags that I ordered off of Amazon. They are in my Amazon store if you want some. And I just lay them down, use my glue stick, and I stick them to the cardstock of my choice. I decided to do 2 on the black and white buffalo check, and then 2 on this pattern that is the green striped because I really like that pattern. Then I just cut them as close as I can to the edges and use a sanding sponge to get off any bits that's kind of hanging over there and make them, you know, perfectly shaped the way that the tag goes. It was tough to pick which images I wanted. Now, these are images that I pulled off of the Graphics Fairy. I pulled them off of Google. And then the Charlie Brown ones I purchased on Etsy. And I like to use my scissors that has the zigzags. I'm not sure what they're called. They're just ziggy-zaggy scissors. And so I put these pictures, just 4 different pictures, on the top over the other cardstock that we laid down. And I always just make it a little bit smaller than what the tag is. I take the end of a small paintbrush and just pop that hole back through there. Then I just used a Sharpie and went around these and made like little, kind of like little zigzag lines and just different little patterns around the rim of it, because I always think that just gives it a little added interest. And you don't have to do that. You can even just color in the ends of it, and it just brings a little something extra to the table instead of it being so plain. Then I just tied jute on the top, and I sell these for a couple bucks a piece in my store, and people can't get enough of them. Hey, if you're enjoying my content so far, I'd love to ask you a favor. If you would, hit the like button, because that really helps me out on YouTube. And hey, hit that red subscribe button and subscribe and become a part of my family here on YouTube. There's a bell beside it, and when you click that bell, YouTube's going to let you know every time old Crafty Cathy puts out a video. Now let's go into number 3. This is a Halloween swag, and I just use those Halloween trees they have. I butt them up together, and I take some zip ties and I tie them to where they're going to be really tight and not come undone. I think probably 2 zip ties would hold it plenty, but I'm a little extra, and I'm selling these, so I want to make sure it's not going to come apart on the person that buys it. And so I put about 4. And we're just going to open up all these branches. Now, the back part can be flat, because think about it, it's going up against a wall anyways, but we want that front to be really fluffy and cute. Then I take this Halloween mesh from the Dollar Tree, and I cut it at 7 inches each. Now, we are going to need 36 pieces all together. What I do is on each little roll that I make, you make 12 rolls, and you need 2 of these candy corn looking ones, or any color you want really. And then I did 1 black in that tulle, and y'all know I call it toile. So I do 2 of this little candy corn looking one and 1 toile. All of them are 7 inches each, and I just go through and cut a whole bunch of this candy corn looking one. I think I used about 2 to 3 rolls total on it. And then that black toile, I think I used maybe 2. And y'all know, I know how to say tulle. I just think it's funny when you say toile. Don't ask me why. And there's my big old head making her appearance. She had to show out. So here I go with about 7 inches on this toile. And I just think it gave it a little something something. And all you do when you make your little rolls is you roll them up like a burrito. Just like, they already roll up as you see. As soon as I cut them, they roll up. See, I roll 2 of them up. And then I take that black and I just kind of scrunch it in the middle. And you make like a little unit. You don't tie them or anything. If you have those little clips from the Dollar Tree, use those just to hold it together. You're going to need a total of 12 little units, and each little unit is made from 3 pieces. Now, just because I use the little candy corn colored ones doesn't mean that you have to, but I think it looks good when you use 2 of the same and then 1 that's different. Sorry I keep repeating how I made these. I just hope it makes sense. Now what I'm going to do is use the little stems from this tree to tie it. I'm not even going to waste my time on, trying to tie it together with a tie wrap or a pipe cleaner. We don't need that. We can just use the tree itself because it's wire, wrap it around each little set, and just fluff them out as you go. I put 6 on one side and 6 on another. And when I do my swags, I do them just like I do my floral. If I put something on one side, say on the left side, I go and put it in the exact same spot on the right side. That way it looks cohesive and nice. So you put 6 little units on one side and 6 on the other. And you don't need to overload it. That's going to be plenty, trust me. And if you don't have any of those clips from the Dollar Tree, you can use whatever else to hold it together. But guys, those are, I have so many of those, and I use those in so many different things. They're just a really good product for $1.25, you know. So when I have all my little units put on there, this is what I've got, and I just kind of fluff it out, but I fluff it out 10,000 times, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. You don't even have to fluff it at this point. We're taking this vintagey looking pumpkin man, and I popped him off that yardstick. We're going to glue down a pipe cleaner, and I also just stuck down in that glue one of the little tie wraps, so just for some extra support. Then I take a small piece of cardboard that this stuff came with, just the cardboard from my little pieces here, and glue it over that, and it just gives it a little extra stability. We're going to flip him down on his face and tie him on to where we have the trees tied together. And like I said, I did put a tie wrap on there along with my little pipe cleaner just so I could make sure that it's good and secure. And I fluffed again. Now, I know some of you girls out there are habitual fluffers like me. Like, I cannot stop fluffing if I've got a wreath or something. I just fluff away. Then I take some of this mesh tubing. I bought 2 rolls, a black and an orange. I literally just put them together, and I cut off a small piece of that tubing and tie it in the middle. Or you can use a tie wrap. It doesn't matter. I like to cut mine so they just go crazy all over the place. It kind of looks like spider legs. And then, yep, you guessed it, I fluffed it together so that it wouldn't just be all black on one side and orange on one. So it would kind of go in together and have a black-orange kind of everywhere. Now I'm going to take this little piece, and I take a dowel, just a dowel rod, and I put a little bit of hot glue on the end of it and stuffed it kind of in the center of that because we're going to use it like a little pick, and I laid it right down in the back behind that little pumpkin man. I did have to cut off the edge of that dowel because it hung down too low and we don't want it showing. And then see, I just slid it right in the back underneath where the trees come together, and I secured it with some hot glue. And I also put some more of the tie wraps back there on it so it would not go anywhere. And I fluffed it again. I forgot I did take another small piece of cardboard when I glued that down. Anytime you glue something on the back of these, just use a little piece of cardboard so it will be a little more secure and stick back there for you. I took one of those Dollar Tree bats and put it right in the center of that, and this guy is looking so cute so far. I like those little ornaments on my wreaths and stuff, but I couldn't find them. But I did find these little foam pumpkin picks. It's just little pumpkins on a long toothpick looking thing. Well, I pulled them off of that, put a little bit of glue on there, and just stuck them in various spots. And those look exactly or almost exactly like the little orange ornaments that I could not find anywhere at the Dollar Tree this year. But this did just as well. You can use table scatter. You can use pretty much anything that you find and just stick it in there just for a little added effect. That's all we're doing, is just trying to jazz it up. I have some little wood leaves that I ordered off of Amazon, and I painted them orange with the DIY paint color called Summer Crush. It's the perfect pumpkin color. And I'm going to take these 3 leaves and glue them on his hat because I just felt like it gave it a little something extra. I put one straight up and the other 2 kind of going off to the side a little. Then I took one of the sunflowers that was on like a little stem, on a little wire stem, and I put it in the center over that leaf, and it kind of popped out. Now we're going to make him a little bow tie. I make the easiest bow ties ever. I just make a circle and pinch it in the middle is pretty much what I do, and tie it together. That's the easiest bow tie I can explain. Then I cut off about a little 2-inch piece of that ribbon and kind of roll it up, glue it together, and I'm going to put it over the front, and it's just to cover up that jute twine. That's all that's for, and I'm going to glue it together. Make sure you protect those fingers because you don't want those little things getting burnt. I'm going to put it on the end of a popsicle stick. Now, I'm going to stick this right up behind his head and glue it there, and it's going to look like the little bow tie is just kind of floating there. And guess what? I'm going to fluff it up. I bought some of those little rings at the Dollar Tree, and I love the bat. I just clipped the little ring part off the back, so we have a little flat bat, and I'm just going to glue him right in the middle of that little bow tie just for a little, I don't know, added touch. I did find 2 little berry picks that I stuck one on each side too. This last one was so fun, and I learned it as I went. It's the only time I've ever fooled with corn husk. I bought these at Walmart in the Mexican aisle where the Mexican food items are, because you can make some tamales with them and they're so good. But anyway, so I took the individual little husk out, and I did not, you can soak these in water for a few minutes. I didn't, but it makes them more pliable. I painted a bunch of them orange and a bunch of them black, and I even sprayed a little bit of a metallic color on it to give it a little shine. We're going to make a little corn husk witch. So first we just literally take a small piece and roll it up, okay? And that's actually going to be her arms. And then, like I said, I learned this as I went. I took small pieces, and this is kind of hard to explain in some ways. I used jute to tie this at the end of what would be her little hand, because these are going to be like little puffy sleeves. Now, this piece of corn husk was wider than the first one that I used, and I did that on both sides. There's my head. Hello, big noggin. So that she would have little arms on both sides. Then I took 2 pieces and literally tied them together with the jute twine. And that's going to be her body, and you lay it right over those 2 arms. Now, like I said, if I would have soaked these, it would have made it more pliable, because in sometimes they kind of broke and crumbled on me. It would have been better if I, wet it, but I just didn't even think about it till later. She was super easy to make. I just learned as I went. I tied almost like an X with the jute around her, like where her top would be. And the reason why I'm doing that is to hold those arms upright, and also because it made a cool little formation, like it's a little shirt, like a little peasant type shirt. Now, to make her head, I just took a couple of these and kind of rolled them up almost into a ball. Do you see how I did that? I just took it, squirted some water on it, rolled it up. Because you pretty much cover that up anyways with just a very small piece at the top. And it's going to be like a little, what do you call that? Like a little hat that kind of, like a little bonnet. That's what I was trying to say. Like the little bonnets that they wear on Little House on the Prairie. Well, that's the look here that I'm trying to achieve. And I just tied it over the top, and it did kind of end up looking like that. And then to make her hat, I just cut out a round piece, and I glued that round piece to the top of the head. That's going to be like the brim of her hat. Then to make the top part of the hat, it took me about 3 attempts. But I very loosely rolled it up, and the corn husk is the perfect shape because you want it wider at the bottom where the larger part of the hat's going to be. And like I said, it took me 3 attempts. This is my second attempt here, and these just weren't big enough. The way I finally got the top part of her hat was to take 2 corn husks that could literally stand up on their own, and they kind of round almost by themselves just naturally. I used glue, and then I also used the jute twine to tie it at the very top so that it would go up and point like a little witch's hat. And then I'm just going to take, and it doesn't take much glue, but I just glued this to the top where the little brim of her hat was. And then, like I said, I just kind of learned as I went, and I cut it off a little bit so it wouldn't be so tall, and it still stood straight up because these corn husks are perfect for just, they're kind of stiff and they stand up on their own, but it takes very, very little glue to glue your pieces together. And then I put a daub of glue down inside that little piece that's sticking up, which is the top of her dress, right above her arms, and the head just laid right down on it. But first I took some jute here, or some rope, or whatever this is, cord. I don't know what it is, thread. And I just went around the top of the hat a couple of times to hide, where I put it together. And it was very easy to put a little glue there on her head and stick it right down on the little body. I hope this is making sense. It's really hard to explain what I did here because I just did it. You know what I mean? I just kind of did it as I went. Now, I was wanting to make her a cape and her dress to come out fully. So I would just take the corn husk and kind of wrap it around her back part, which would end up being the cape and the dress. All you do is just glue it on there, and it's very easy to do. Now, when you're making the cape, though, you want to cut out like a little half circle at the top to leave room for where it's going to go underneath her head. I wanted her to have like a little sash or something. And so I just glued that to her backside at the top and just brought it over across her chest and put a little bit of glue at the bottom of it. And it made like a perfect little sash. And then I ended up making her cape not really long. I didn't really want a long one. I wanted you to be able to tell that it was different than her body. And so I made it go about halfway down her body. And then, like I said, that corn husk is really easy to kind of stand up on its own. And so I stood her up and just cut off the bottom evenly to where she could stand up and not fall over. But in the very end, I don't show it on film, but I actually took one of those pine cones that's over toward the left and put it straight up and down so that it would give her a little more stability to stand on. Here I'm making the broom, and all I did was just roll up another little corn husk, a little small one, and then this is just raffia that I had like tied, just a little bit of raffia together. I cut it off so it would be her broom, and I just glued it to that little stem, and it looked just like a little broom. My big old head always has to make its appearance. I'm so sorry. But I just kept trimming down until it looked like a broom to me. And then I just took it and kind of laid it across her so that you would know that's her little broom. And I glued it to her hand very easily. And do you know that people go crazy for these little corn husk dolls? I never had any idea. But it was super easy to make, and she turned out really cute. Hey, if you stuck with me through this whole video, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I love each and every one of y'all. And don't forget, if you will, to hit that like button, because that really helps to put me out there in front of people who may not have seen me yet on YouTube. And I would appreciate that so much. And hey, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We have a lot of fun here. It's always love, laughs, and DIYs every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you guys very soon. I love each and every one of y'all. May God bless you and your families richly this week. And I'll see you soon.
Well, hey there, everybody. It's me, Cousin Bobby Joe. Kathy's adorable, singing, beautiful, lovely cousin with stars in my eyes, headed all the way to Hollywood from the hills of Tennessee, baby. I'm gonna tear 'em up. Yeah. Y'all know a couple of weeks ago when I did that commercial for them Baiano weenies? Well, ever since then, my phone's been blowing up. I mean, Hollywood's calling me left and right. So guess what? The way I'm a-figuring, the big bucks are gonna be flying in real soon, and I'm gonna be right here to catch 'em all, baby. Yes, I am. Do you know that when I went to Hollywood for my big audition, that's what it's called, audition. Good grief, Bobby Joe, I'm so silly. But anyways, when I went for my big audition, I was walking down that big old, road. It's got all them stars on it where all them people are. And I had some crazy man walk up to me and ask me why I already was dressed up for Halloween. Now, honey, why would you ask me that? Unless you think I'm like the Queen of Egypt or something. Hello? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he thought I was Dolly Parton or something. I mean, I know I kind of favor her. And I have heard that somewhere down the generations that we're kin. But, yeah, so that's all I can figure that he was thinking. And I was like, honey. Well, anyways, back to the story. I was walking down that road because guess what? One of these days, you're going to see my name on there. It's going to say Bobby Joe Womble, the one that does the commercials for Spam and Baiano weenies. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on there. It's going to be epic. I can't wait. I cannot wait until I get up there. But anyways, I will be showing y'all commercial real soon. I hit it out of the park, honey. It was amazing. But I mean, I'm just so busy these days because all these people from Hollywood just ringing my phone off the hook. What did you say, Mom? Somebody's calling from Hollywood? See, that's how they do me all day long. It's hard to be a star and be this gorgeous. I mean, what else? I can't wait till I meet Loretta and Dolly. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shine like a big old diamond one of these days. So I mean, you better take a good look at this face. I mean, I know you can't keep your eyes off of it. Do you know that that's what that man on the street told me? The one that asked me was I wearing a Halloween costume? He said, I just can't keep my eyes off of you. Well, honey, that's you and every other man in this world. This is natural beauty, and it don't come by real easy. You gotta work hard to get where I'm at and to look like me, okay? It takes work, okay? But anyways, yeah, I just been real busy, so that's why I ain't been on here. And now that I'm getting paychecks for them Baiano weenie commercials, Buford will be coming back and just crawling at my door. You watch. I'll fill yins in. You know I will. But I love yins, and I hope all of yins have a great Halloween if I don't see yins by then. But I probably will because I know that you guys ask Kathy about me all the time. She always tells me, hey, them subscribers of mine, boy, they love you so much, Bobby Joe. And that's all they talk about is how gorgeous you are and how smart and just how talented you are and how you're going places in the world and you're getting out of these mountains. But I mean, that's just the way the ball bounces. Some of us got it like that. Anyways, I love yous and I'll see yous real soon. Bye.
Abby, I absolutely love your new socks. You're such a fashionable man. Can you walk and model them? Wanna go bye-bye? Go bye-bye? Come on, let's go bye-bye. Hurry! Hurry! Let's go bye-bye.
You're so hot, dude. You're just so cute. Oh my gosh.
wanna go bye-bye? Hurry, let's go bye-bye. Hurry.
He says, you gotta go 'cause there's the door, Mom. I'm not stupid. You just want to see my tail. He said, you just want to see my tail and how cute I am.
Sabby. Sabby. Sab. Sab.
Gabby.
Why won't you look at me? He said, because you're not doing what you said you was going to do, Mom. Come on. He said, you're not doing what you said. You ready to go bye-bye? Go outside? Go outside? You can't get your socks dirty. You can't get them dirty, Sabby. What are you doing? You gotta go pee? Gotta go pee-pee? Sock has aborted mission. I repeat, the sock has aborted mission.